Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle. On today's episode, if you saw the live earlier, today I did a bit of sneak peek, and today's episode is just using a random generator to ask me questions. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Hello and welcome to
Infinite Prattle!
unscripted, unedited prattle on everything, hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share and subscribe, and enjoy the show.
Happy Sunday to you, if you are indeed listening on a Sunday. I hope this will go okay. If you did see the live earlier, I did a quick live basically saying how disorganized I am and how messy my room is, and I took my setup apart at the beginning of this week after recording the last podcast with the idea of like stripping all my workspace down, simplifying it, and removing my microphone, trying to get it set up for trying to practice a video podcast. That did not go to plan. Yeah, I haven't even set my microphone up, so I'm sat holding my own microphone today. So hopefully you won't be able to hear any things like that bouncing around. I will try my best for you. I will try my best. Yes, there's today's episode. Firstly, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm doing all right. Been volunteering today at the Heritage Centre in Crewe, Railway Heritage, so it's been nice interacting with some nice, happy people today. And talking about trains, which I have mixed feelings about. Anyway, so today's episode is I've just found the first random topic generator and conversation starter thing in Google. Other search engines are available, and used the first one to generate some random topics. Some of them were weird, so I skipped a couple. So this isn't the first three it generated, because some of them were like, "What does your office look like?" Which I thought was really boring, and you wouldn't want to know, because it's the same as any office. And some of them were weird. So I picked the first three, which, to be fair, I've only didn't use 4. So this was like probably 7 goes, and I've used 3 out of the 7. So that's not bad, is it? So yeah, let's get into that. So the 3 questions are: a TV show that you love and want to bring back, and why. Now, it doesn't say one that was cancelled or one that just finished, so I'm going to use one that's cancelled. So stay tuned for that. Who's your oldest friend, and how did you meet them? And the last one is, what are your goals for the next 2 years? And I think I'll start with that one, actually. I think I'll start with the third one I've read out, because, I don't like going in order. I'm a off the cuff kind of like spontaneous person who struggles to tidy his desk, apparently. So what are your goals for the next 2 years? Well, 2 years is quite a while, isn't it? It's like time is weird, isn't it? Because like 2 years is a long time, but it also goes past really quick. Like this last year has been super, super quick for me. And I would say over the next year, I definitely want to go to America and hopefully Japan. So I don't know if I've managed both in the 2 years, but hopefully so. Depends on how much money we have. But I definitely want to fulfill my aspirations of going back to America. Maybe to the East Coast again, or even maybe over to California. Me and my mate have been trying to plan a road trip for years, so maybe we'll do both. Maybe we could go Philly for a few days and then fly over to California. Who knows? But I'd love to get that planned in and actually accomplish that. We were going to do it this year. We turned 40 last year, and we were going to do it for a 40th, then decided to postpone it, maybe to the beginning of this year. And lo and behold, it's October, and we've done bugger all. So when we're 41 this month, sorry, Scott. Yeah, definitely holiday to America, and I'd love to go to Japan. So if we can get over to Japan in the next 2 years, amazing. If not, a nice couple of holidays somewhere else would be lovely. Career-wise, I'd just like to have a job. So if I can stay where I am, or maybe get a promotion, then fantastic. I'm quite happy with doing what I'm doing at the moment, getting loads of experience. I am doing a couple of courses. So I'm doing a NEBOSH course, which is a health and safety course. So doing that next year, which I've wanted for a while, and I've also considered like trying to apply for some other courses. So maybe a bit of an educational journey for work over the next 2 years. I'd like to publish my book. I've written a book about my dog, and I'd like to publish that. I'd like to get that sorted and see if we can get that published, and actually make progress with the other 5 books I'm currently writing. Because again, I can't focus on one thing. Yeah, and just make sure I'm paying my bills and try and pay a bit of my mortgage off if I can. I've got a bit of savings, and I'm really wanting to try and like reduce my mortgage down and pay that off as soon as I can. So yeah, so holiday, some training at work, publish a book, and pay some mortgage off. Is that unachievable? I don't think so. Oh, and probably lose some weight again. Actually, I might lose some weight there because, fortunately, I said I was never going to get fat again, and I'm fat again. So, anyway, maybe lose a few stone. At least two. At least two. Keep keep them aspirations low, Stephen. Okay, so I'll flip back to the TV question now. I was thinking about this because I've literally only just done this. I've literally done this. And the first show that came to my mind, is the one I'm going to talk about. But then I thought about some others. I thought, well, some that have been cancelled, or some that just finished. And I think the only one that I would have wanted to bring back, apart from one that finished normally. I love Friends, but I think that kind of finished in a good place. And as much as I'd like to see where them characters are, I think sometimes when they bring it back, it's forced. I think the only other one I'd want brought back was Frasier, but that's come back, and I actually don't mind it. I've yet to watch the second season, but yeah, I liked the first season of that. Different dynamic and such thing. But yeah, I enjoyed the first season. So I think for me that would have been the one I would have chosen. Obviously, they've already brought it back, so for me, it would be Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Now, this is a program. I don't even know what year this came out. It's got to be way back in like 2007, maybe even 2006. And it starred Matt. Oh my god, his name's gone, and he played Chandler in Friends. He passed away last year. Or was it this year? Matthew Perry, sorry, yeah, Matthew Perry. So it was a TV show that was kind of based on like a Saturday Night Live kind of program. So it followed the inception from like the previous show finishing to the writing of the next show, and all the political things and all the in-house things that went on in that 7 days. And there's a big countdown clock on the wall, and it was written by the chap that did, oh my god, Aaron Sorkin. He did West Wing and loads of other stuff. To be fair, he's done so many different things. West Wing. He's written films. I think he wrote A Few Good Men. Yeah, Moneyball he wrote, I think, as well. He's written screenplays for all these things, but Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip was a brilliant show. And it is. I've just Googled it, and it was 2006 to 2007. And it was basically a behind-the-scenes look at a sketch comedy show, like Saturday Night Live. And I just loved it. It was just brilliant. It was well-written. It was dramatic. It flowed well. The characters were relatable and, if not likable, watchable. Matthew Perry was great in it. He played one of the writers with some issues. And it's got really good ratings on Internet Movie Database. Like, a lot of people that reviewed it, give it 9 and 10 out of 9 and 10 out of 10, which is great. And it did one season, and I believe the reason it didn't do any more was because it didn't get the ratings they were expecting. And I don't know, what ratings they were expecting, because I think from what they were saying, it was averaging like 30 million views or something, but apparently for America that's not great, and they wanted 40 million, something like that. I remember seeing something at the time and just thinking that's bonkers because it's such a good show. And how I got into it was the pilot episode was given away when Apple used to do their like 12 days of Christmas. They used to give free things away, and they give an episode of that away in the 12 days of Christmas. And I downloaded it, watched it, I thought it was great. It wasn't on TV in the UK at the time, so I could only watch that one episode, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really, really, really liked it. So when it was available to download the whole lot, I watched it, and then I was waiting for the new season to come out, and I think it'd been like 6 or 7 months, and I was thinking, well, it's been well over a year since that last season, and then I googled it, and it was like, yeah, it's been cancelled. And I was well disappointed because it was just such a good show. The characters in it, yeah, just the whole, the whole cast. So Matthew Perry played one of the writers. Bradley Whitford, he played another writer and producer. I think he was just the producer. I don't think he did writing. And Amanda Pete's in it. Stephen Weber or Weaver, Sarah Paulson, like loads of people, like recognizable faces, and D.L. Hewley, Stephen Weber. Yeah, it's just I said Stephen, haven't I? Who else is in it that you'd recognize? Oh, there's just loads. It's just a great show. Yeah, it's just very well written and very much an Aaron Sorkin. If you like the West Wing, I mean, I've never really seen the West Wing, if I'm honest with you, but I've seen bits of it, and it's very written, obviously in that style because it's the same guy, but it's just very fast paced, very witty subtext, and yeah, just great. And I was pretty good when I realised when I googled it that it hadn't been renewed. Pretty good, really. Pretty gutted. Yeah, it still makes me sad now, and I'm gonna rewatch it. Actually, I might rewatch it. I've not seen it in ages. Because I saw it when it was out, so I watched it at the time. Then a few years later, I rewatched it. But yeah, it's I think it's on Prime Video at the moment. Actually, the whole season. I've got it on iTunes, but I think it might be on Amazon Prime. I don't know. But anyway, if you get a chance to watch it, then watch it. If you like the West Wing and stuff like that, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Yeah, it's good behind the scenes of a show, how that comes about as well. I enjoyed that side of it too. And the last question. What is the last question? Oh yes. Who is your oldest friend, and how did you meet them? Okay, so I'm quite lucky. I have quite a few longevity friends, as I would call them. But my oldest friend is called Louise, and we met when we were about 4 years old in nursery, like preschool, for my American friends. So we were about 4 years old, and we were kind of friends back then. Even though I think it's probably weird, like, well, maybe when you're really young, it's maybe not weird to have a friend that's a girl. But then I think boys and girls kind of like separate into their own groups because it's that natural divide between boys and girls until they, the hormones kick in high school and they start trying to awkwardly interact again. Louise has been a friend for years, and we went to separate junior schools, but then when we came back together in high school, we became best friends, and she's my friend still. We still see each other. In fact, we're going around on this Friday, to see her and see her kids. And yeah, so we've known each other now scarily for like 38 years. 37 years. Yeah, we're 37 years this year. I'm trying to work out how old I am. So yeah, 37 years it'll be, nearly. Which is amazing. It's just amazing that, like, I never thought I'd see 30, let alone have a friend that's I've known for 37 years. And yeah, we met in nursery school. And my other longest friend who I met like probably like a year or 18 months later, is Neil, and I still keep in contact with Neil. I see neither of them as much as I would like to, but family life takes over. They both got kids, but Neil I've known since we were about 5 or 6, and again same thing, nursery school, preschool kind of thing. Because I used to go to two, like my mum worked at one, so if I could get dropped off at one, I would. If I went to the other one, so they're my longest friends, and I still see them now, which is really lovely. And then my other friends are from my other longest friends are from college. So Scott, who's been on the podcast, who did the Star Trek couple of episodes, part 1 and part 2 with me. I've known Scott since 2002 when we started college. No, 2000 since we started college. 2002 is when we left. So I've known him for nearly 25 years. 24 years this year, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, so it'll be 24 years currently. They'll be going into 25-year anniversary next year. So very lucky to have some friends that have known me all my life and grew up with me and know me so well. And even though I don't see Louise and Neil as much as I'd like to, I don't even see Scott as much as I'd like to, but I see him more regularly than the others. Yeah, it's still nice when we do see each other. We just pick up where we left off, and one of my other mates, Phil, I've known him pretty much like 23 years, and again don't see him as much, but he lives in Chester, which is a little bit further away from me, and he does have 3 kids, so I can forgive him a little bit for his time being taken up. But when you grow older, like time seems to get away from you a little bit. Like you kind of, when you're young, you kind of have that, I just say, the effort to see people, but it seems easier, I think, to like socialize when you're younger. And when you get older, you're just happy to sit in your chair and drink a cup of tea and watch a bit of telly and chill out. And I don't even have kids yet, so God knows what I'll be like when I do. I think I'll become a complete recluse if I do have children. So just 3 randomly generated questions there. What would your answers be to them? What would be a TV show that you would bring back and why? Who is your oldest friend and where did you meet them? And what are your plans for the next 2 years? Think about them yourselves and let me know in the comments what your answers would be. Let me know. You can also text me as well. Buzzsprout, the host that I use, have used a thing where you can text me directly. It doesn't involve any numbers. It just, if you press the text thing, it just allows you to send a text to me. I can't reply to it, but it's nice to have the interaction, and I might be able to give you a shout out on the next podcast. So, well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just something different today. It's not a cop out. It wasn't a cop out episode. I just thought I've got loads of topics written down for once in my phone, but I just thought, wouldn't it be interesting just to do a random generated question? See what weird stuff could come out. And unfortunately, it was generating boring stuff rather than interesting stuff. So they were the 3 most interesting ones. But maybe I should have clicked through for longer. In fact, let's have a click now at the end of the episode. What would be the next question it generated? Where is the most beautiful place near to where you live? Not a bad question. I don't even know the answer to that. If there's a place with a vista, probably Beeston, because you can see quite far when you go up the hills at Beeston. If it's just a town, Nantwich. If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be? Ooh, that's a good one. What are you best at? I'm not touching that one, and on that, I'm going to finish, because I'm a jack of all, master of none. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you do like, please share. Do all the usual stuff that people always moan at you and bang on for you to do, but I appreciate you listening. Go back and listen to some other episodes if you haven't already, and keep prattling.
You've been listening to
Infinite Prattle!
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, go back and listen to some others. And please continue to listening. Your support is muchly appreciated. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.